She lives in Williamsburg, which is a kind of a neighborhood at that time in Brooklyn, which was becoming gentrified. It was ethnic, it was Polish, but young artists were moving in because they could still find affordable rents. So a lot of her life outside of work takes place there. Okay, and then there's her boyfriend, Don. I don't know, she lays it on thick with him. There's not a redeeming characteristic with this guy. I mean, he's just so obviously not right for her. He's a kind of like hypocritical socialist who, mocks her because she doesn't really have a job or what he considers to be a job while he works down in the financial district, like watering plants in Wall Street buildings, and spouts socialist tropes. He's patronizing, also aspires to be a writer. Nothing redeeming about him that I can see other than the fact that he has like a brilliant smile. I mean, and this is another thing, like I'm reading about this guy. He's also a boxer, her boyfriend Don, who's smaller than her. He has smaller hands than she does, right? And she mocks him because he has to keep like going down to fight in the lighter weight classes because he keeps getting beaten up at the higher weight classes. And I'm thinking there's something about this guy that seems familiar, right? So then it occurs to me, like a few years ago, I read a book, another memoir, which is better than this one, called The Gloves, a Boxing Chronicle, by a guy named Robert Anasi, who was like 139 pounds or something like that, and he's 33 years old, and he's just about to no longer be eligible for the Golden Gloves. And before he loses his eligibility at 33 years old, he decides that he's going to fight in the Golden Gloves, and he sort of hooks up with this group called the Supreme Team, sort of coached by this very eccentric boxing trainer named Milton down in the Lower East Side. And it's a fascinating memoir, and I'm like, is Don Robert Anasi? And so I look in the acknowledgments, and he's in there. I mean, it's got to be him, right? And I mean, it seems like a fucking hit job. His memoir sort of like fell off into obscurity. I think it was published by North Point Press, which is an offshoot of FSG, so it was published big time too, but it didn't really make it. It didn't really become popular and well known. It kind of slid off the map. And I think he also wrote about a book about Williamsburg. So it has to be the guy, right? So that was kind of disagreeable to read too. It seemed a bit unfair,